So, we've always known that it was only a matter of time for AIs to create amazing looking video footages, especially one like this, which is fully AI generated. Actually, there is even more. This is fully AI generated, this other one is fully AI generated. You can see the reflection, you can also tell that there's an interaction going with that model. And of course, if you take a look at this, it is hard to say that this isn't a stock footage. This fully animated character with some backgrounds, the lighting, the fall, all of these are fully AI generated. All thanks to the brand new AI tool that was just announced by the folks at OpenAI called Sora. And what does this mean for animators, filmmakers, and VFX artists? Well, we all know that artificial intelligence is no longer a new term to the average Joe on the internet. This has come a long way. Since the humble beginning of thispersondoesn'texist.com, NVIDIA Canvas Gangown, which actually converts doodles to images, and text to image, with some fine lines being drawn as we began to experience text to video sometime last year. And of course, we did see a couple of companies chip in, but the results were more or less garbage data, exciting to see, and extremely unusable to say the least. And with companies like Runway ML consistently producing tools that were showcasing potentials, which we've already covered a couple of these in the past, the era of text to video to video with amazing looking results was on the horizon. And today we have a glimpse of what the future holds with the OpenAI Sora that was just announced. So, what is Sora? Sora is an AI model that can create realistic and imaginative scenes from text instructions, to put it simply. This is very similar to what we already know, with outcomes that are hugely different from what has ever existed, as OpenAI has comfortably taken to the stars with exploring large-scale training of generative models on video data, leveraging of a transformer architecture that operates on space-time patches of video and image latent codes, birthing Sora, which is now capable of generating a minute of high-fidelity videos as compared to the 4 seconds of video from Runway ML. This in itself is astronomically awesome, as it ushers everyone into the promising future of simulated worlds in relation to real life and imagination. The result, as compared to other models, ridiculously beautiful, mode of creation, dope. So, just take a look at this. First off, Sora can generate images, and despite creating with text, one can also generate up to 8 seconds of video from a single image input. Video input can also be extended, as you can load in your videos and extend the duration that you want. Sora can also interpolate between 2 input videos, creating a seamless transition between video with an entirely different subject and scene composition. And if that isn't awesome enough, I must mention these other ones. This brilliant feature is one that simply cracks the wall in terms of things that you can do with this tool. With other models, you can generate movement, you can also generate camera motion. And most of the motions that we've actually come to see has to do with pan, slight zooming, a little bit of a tilt, and all of that in between. But all these other models haven't really broken the wall of multi-motion tracking or multi-motion camera movement, and to any of the models that actually tries to do this, it breaks the illusion. But somehow, Sora has managed to hold this together. From what we have here, Sora can generate videos with dynamic camera motion, and as the camera simply shifts and rotates, people within the scene and elements moves more consistently, creating a sense of 3D dimensional space. And this shot simply highlights all of the talks about motion, as you can see that there are movements happening within the scene, alongside with the character and every other element around. There's also the reflection on the glasses that matches the real world scene, as it opens us to a lot of possibilities that will be coming to tools like this in the future. Oh, and look at this. Objects can also interact with their world, and there's just a truckload of cool stuff that Sora is capable of, and you can tell that this provides the highest form of quality there is in terms of AI generated videos or content to date. And just take a look at footages like this. Something like this can actually be online and you can purchase it as a stock footage. And it is pretty wild what you have. Actually, if we even go next, you can also see that for 3D creators, you can create something like this, possibly use it as a form of reference, and it's wild what you have going on here. You can tell that the character simply moves and the light sort of bounces to give it a little bit of that realism. There's also this beautiful one that has to do with the coral reef, which is also nice. And if you simply toggle all the way here, you can see things like this brings to mind montages. So imagine trying to create a montage of several ships and probably you have no idea of how to come up with it. This would serve as a good reference for both motion, displacement, and also how the ships would behave in water, or possibly the kind of fluid simulation animation you're going to create. A couple of cool examples you would notice has to do with the vehicle. There's also this other one that has to do with the train. It is also pretty impressive to see the drone shots. And look at one more animated stuff. Like, just imagine, this is just super wild. The fact that it is being generated by a prompt, it's just pretty interesting. And when we speak about the amazing things you can do with this, you can see how the transformer actually works. This is what we have as the base compute. This is the 4 times compute, and this is 16 times compute, with the transformers being able to demonstrate remarkable scaling of properties across a variety of domain, which includes language modeling, computer vision, and image generation. More so, variable duration, resolution, and aspect ratios can also be respected, as Sora can sample widescreen, which is 1920 by 1080, and also 1080 by 1920. So you can see different resolution of the same prompt, and you can definitely go to town with this one, depending on what you're trying to do. But wait, as beautiful as this is, the results that we get are not completely 100% true to life. There's still that element of AI-generated motions that are either hidden or clearly visible. In fact, some of them are even hidden in plain sight, and you have to literally have an eye for AI-generated footages to spot them. In this example, we get to see this dog move from one window frame to another window, and if you don't have an eye for AI, you will definitely think everything is fine, only for you to look closely and you start noticing some artifacts, and then you also notice that there is no shadow being casted on this. This is almost the same thing in several situations as well, even with the demos that they have on their page. It's also worth mentioning that most of us have been so used to AI and we've always known that hands, fingers are always a problem. But right now, when it has to do with motion images, especially characters that have legs, the leg movement becomes the next problem I have with most AI-generated motion, because you get to notice that for some reason, the legs just simply intersect, they replace each other, they move backwards, forward. Some funny things are always happening with the legs. In terms of the hands, we're very used to the fact that AI doesn't do so well with them. In terms of how they smile, that awkward look in most cases is always there. But the legs is something that I think is a new problem, especially if we're looking at achieving that next level of AI-generated content. This currently is the best there is, but it's also not without its problems. And of course, you would also notice in several instances that the background characters also exhibit some weird, inconsistent movements sometimes. And with all of these, it is definitely safe to say that there are some things that works. Prompts that has to do with empty spaces display little to no artifacts. The only time you get to notice things like wobbling or, displacement is when you look at the floor. The floor is the only place that simply just gives it away. Plant growth animation looks really, really good. And there are things that are not working. And I believe it's only a matter of time for things to actually come together. There are still some other concerns that I think a lot of us will have in terms of what people can do with a tool like this. And OpenAI seems to have a clear understanding of what likeness impersonation is, as this is now the new online scamming feature, as anyone can now jump on the internet with the likeness of anyone, train the model how they speak, train the model how they behave, and then they can use them to do some very, very terrible things. And speaking about legalities and ethics, even for OpenAI, let's keep a few things clean. The data which are used for training this model are definitely from somewhere, and OpenAI has previously admitted that tools like ChatGPT would rely on some copyrighted data, solicited or not, and they will be using this, making that statement before the hammer actually arrives in terms of copyright lands them in a presumable position that these as well might actually suffer the same similar case. And if for some reason we choose to discount all of those, with OpenAI's Sora, we are witnessing the dawn of a new era, as Sora represents the pinnacle of AI innovation, combining state-of-the-art algorithms and unprecedented computational power. And as this tech advances, filmmakers, VFX and animators may rely on these tools for references, guides, as this promises to bring a couple of resources with an inexpensive approach to lots of things. In regards to motion, effect, updating a previously made video, as within the video to video, you can upload a video and alter how that video actually behaves over time, and this is quite ridiculous and nice at the same time, as you can throw in a simple footage and change or even alter that. And I believe for those who are into pre-visualization, this is also going to be super useful, because at any point in time they can throw in a character and build worlds around them with a prompt. And it's just crazy what Sora would look like in the coming months or even years. So this is it. Sora is now here, and this represents a paradigm shift in the field of artificial intelligence. With its unmatched capabilities and potential for innovation, Sora presents itself as a tool that has the power to transform the world as we know it through different forms of AI video generation. Tell me what you guys think about this one in the comment section, and of course if you like this video or you learned something from this, you can go ahead and give a like and don't forget to share with a friend. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.